Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Cinema Circle, the show where we talk and do movie reviews of all your favorite releases coming out of Hollywood. The show that is for the fans, by the fans. I'm your host for today, VonJevy, and joining me as usual is Patricia Rostrulo.
Hey.
And Anthony Hunos.
Hello.
Today we are reviewing two movies. The first one is going to be The Sun Is Also a Star. Let's take a look.
All we have is a single day.
Okay, so we're back. All right, Anthony, I'm going to throw it to you. I want to know what you thought of The Sun Is Also a Star.
I thought that, number one, I think that it was great that we had people of color finally, in the lead for a movie like this. I like the cultural aspect of it. I like that, what's his name again? Daniel? Yeah. I like that his family was kind of skeptical about her and that she was also kind of getting used to being with a guy who is a part of an Asian culture, because I think it showed a nice dynamic between the two of them. So I really like that. I also like the fact that the concept was very unique. I think that the idea of falling in love with somebody in such a short amount of time, I think you could do a lot with that in a movie. And I know it was based off of a book, but I think it was a really unique concept, and we haven't really seen that done too often in rom-coms. What I didn't like about the movie though was I didn't really believe the acting. Like it was fairly mediocre, especially from the girl. I can't remember the actor's name, but she had a lot of scenes where I was just like, what is this? Yeah. I think she's got potential, but I don't think it was done right in this movie. And I don't know if that was her, if that was the directing, but I just didn't believe a lot of what she was saying. Yeah. And I think while the two of them have some kind of on-screen chemistry throughout the entire movie, I just didn't believe that they were actually in love. I didn't feel like I know there were moments where she suddenly realized, I actually do have feelings for this guy, but I didn't feel it because I feel like we didn't see the progression of that on her end. Yeah. For him, I felt like it was more just infatuation, not really I'm in love with this girl. Like for him, it was like, it's a fling, I'm gonna have fun. So I don't know. I just feel like it was very mediocre acting wise.
It wasn't believable.
Yeah. It wasn't believable at all.
Also on that note, I just think the reason they were picked, like a big reason why they were picked for this movie is because they're like their looks, because they look good, because especially some of the shots it was just on their face, right? A lot of
I don't know if I could agree with that, because although yes they were chose for their looks, but there's so many other talents out there that have the looks that could pull off the acting.
If I were to think of why they chose them, I think they're young, and which fits probably the age that they wanted this couple to be. And the fact that they look good together too, not just by themselves, but I think together they do look like a couple, like if you look over there. So I think that's probably the reason. And I know the dude's in that Riverdale show, right? So they probably wanted to get somebody who's up and coming, and
she's from Blackish, I think.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
So they wanted to get people who aren't known but have also been out there to some degree.
Okay, so I agree with Anthony. I like the cultural aspect of the movie, but I just think it fell flat for a movie. I think the actors were not convincing enough for me, and also the story was a little bit naive. I think it wasn't true to human nature. The concept's there, but you make it relatable to people, and it just fell flat there. The actors were not the best, I didn't think.
No, 100%.
Yeah. Also, one big thing that you noticed right off the bat, the accents were terrible. I was like, if you're gonna do a cultural, was it? If you're gonna do a cultural movie like this, do it right, and it just seemed fake.
Specifically, you're talking about the dad, right?
Yeah, the dad, and it's just I don't know. I thought they could have added a little bit more culture into it as well.
What were some of the good things that you thought about this movie?
I don't know.
So you didn't really have that much good to say about it. Everything was
I think at first I was enjoying it, but it's also because they were just trying to figure out the story. But then once it kept got into the heart of it, I'm like, it's falling flat, and I didn't like it.
I think the thing that intrigued me the most about this movie and why I wanted to go see it and check it out, it's not necessarily a movie that I would have wanted to go jump and run and go see it or whatever. But I wanted to watch it for the culture. It's not many times that we get a movie with these type of leads, right?
Yeah.
We got the black girl and the Asian guy. The last time that we got a movie like that was how many decades ago with Aaliyah and Jet Li in Romeo Must Die.
Yeah.
And that was more of action comedy type movie where we got to see the dynamic, but there wasn't too much on the love side, but they had like some chemistry. And then I was interested to see, okay, how would this work in a nice romantic movie, right? And I don't think that they pulled it off, although I like the cultural aspects of it. But again, what you guys said, they did it completely wrong. It wasn't done right.
No.
The accents weren't there. I understand, they had realistic like intentions and elements
like
within
the
it,
dinner, like the breakfast in the morning where they're eating rice, I think it was.
All those
like
things.
that.
And then what they like, when he brought her to the store and he owns the store and stuff like that. So there was like an intent there that was true to what we see every day, but I don't think that they pulled it off well. It wasn't believable, which is weird. I also thought that it was very boring. I did not like this movie at all.
I thought it was cheesy too.
Very cheesy, very
cheesy.
very cheesy. To your point though, on some of the stuff that you did like about it, I agree with everything that you said. Although it just didn't come together properly. So they did miss the mark on that. So the movie leans more towards the bad side than the good. I just hope that this isn't something that is going to affect more stories like this. I would love to see more of that on screen.
And true to the culture too. Like if you're gonna do a movie like that, do it justice.
Look, I don't understand. Like if you guys are gonna do Jamaicans in a movie, like they think that everybody with an accent is like a Caribbean accent is Jamaican, and I don't know what type of accents that they were putting in there, but they need to find either real authentic Jamaicans or just leave it alone. All right. With that being said, what is your verdict?
5. I give it a 5.
5 as well.
I'm gonna give it a 5. I hope that this doesn't stop all future filmmakers from doing stories like this, because I'm sure there is a story there that could be better.
I mean, the fact that we saw it in a theater with just us and 2 others.
Exactly. It speaks volumes.
And they marketed this movie really well.
They did,
Like it was all over.
It was in every YouTube.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, so let's move on to another movie that shows some more diversity and gives us, I guess, a little bit more representation on screen. Though it wasn't theatrically released, it was on Netflix, and that is called
Always Be My Maybe.
All right.